Guitar Heroes, Eric Andres, your Guitar Sage here with 3 tips for older guitar newbies who are just starting out. So I find that these tips not only help older newbies, but especially older newbies, okay? And I'll tell you why this is. So the first tip is that it's not you, it's the guitar. And what I mean by that is this. A lot of times when people come to the guitar, especially manly men, women seem to understand this concept a little bit more than men do. I don't know why that is, but it's just true. But I think partially it has to do that when we're learning to play guitar, we're used to jumping into something and someone shows us how to do it, and A and B equals C, and we're off to the races. Well, guitar is like that, but it's a little bit elusive if you're looking at it from, you're watching somebody else play. You're like, well, it's the left hand, it's the right hand. They need to be in sync, and off we go. And there's a lot of, it's like watching a magician. It's like, well, he just pulled a rabbit out of a hat, or he just changed the card, and oh, that's how he does it. But then you practice that sleight of hand technique, and you realize just how important that sleight of hand technique is and why it makes a huge difference, okay? So, all that to say, when you approach the guitar, just know straight up that every issue that you've run into, all the greats have run into as well. It's not you, it's the guitar. It's a way of, when you approach these stumbling blocks and these hurdles, just understand and remember my words here, it's not you, it's the guitar. And really what we need to do to get over those is to find the specific technique, which you can find from many great players online, books, etc., that are going to get you beyond these hurdles, okay? So understand that, number one, it's not you, it's the guitar. Number two, practice. Obviously, you're going to get out what you put into it, or less. They say practice makes perfect, when in fact, practice makes permanent, right? So whatever we practice, if we're practicing the wrong technique, we're going to get really good at the wrong technique, and it's just true with guitar. So a lot of people, what they do is they pick up the guitar and they start, just kind of doing what logically seems to make sense, and oftentimes they leave holes in their playing. Okay, so it's important to get good instruction to understand what it is that you're practicing, because if you're taking an hour to practice every day, you want to make sure that you're practicing the right way. So I always suggest to get some sort of instruction, okay, be it online or otherwise. So to practice specifically. And another thing I want to add to this number 2 is songs are really what you're going for, so it's a good thing to practice songs, or at least for that to be your goal. The reason I say this is because I started guitar when I was about 14 and practiced a whole bunch, but in fact, I feel like I practiced some things incorrectly, many things incorrectly, or I could have been more efficient, I should say, with my time. I would practice for hours, scales, just for hours and hours, practice my scales, when in fact, it was good. I knew my scales inside and out, but as far as being able to improvise and play them well, along with a chord progression or a song, I felt like I could have been better served by just practicing that specifically instead of practicing scales. So that's one thing to understand and to think about, is that folks are always looking for exercises, and yes, I have lots of exercises, but the exercises are there to get you to play songs, to get you to understand. In the beginning, there's some techniques that if we're going for a song right away, you may hear it and it may sound right, but you're not getting the technique down. Once the basic techniques are down with exercises, then you want to start focusing on songs. So the number 2 of this is practice makes permanent. And so you want to make sure that you're practicing the right things, and going for songs is a great way it's great because folks don't get up on stage and play scales, they play songs, they play solos, they don't play chords, they play chord progressions, they play songs. So yes, even though scales and chords are components of those things, and we do have to know them, once you practice them enough, then we really want to incorporate them into songs, because no one gets on stage and just plays scales or chords. They play chord progressions and solos and songs together, okay? So really important. And it's also going to keep you in the game, because if you're just practicing chords, you're just practicing scales, it becomes very sterile and boring, and you don't have something to show. You want to be able to show that you can play some songs if you go to a party, or you want something to show for that, not just a scale. No one's impressed by a scale or a chord. They're impressed by songs, okay? And the third most important thing is that you have some sort of plan. And what I mean by that is some sort of progression where you're moving forward. If you've been to the gym and you go and you lift weights, well, in the beginning it's very easy to grow because we can almost always grow immediately from whatever we just were. If we weren't going to the gym at all, we weren't working out, we're pushing some weights, now immediately we're growing our muscles and we're automatically going to see some growth. But what happens with most people is they plateau because they don't understand that constant pushing, that having a plan, a real focused goal in mind is going to get you to grow. Now, if you're one of those players where you just want to play a couple songs and you're totally satisfied with that, that's great. We need players like that. But if you're constantly trying to grow, you're constantly trying to become a better player, you've got to have a plan. And what I mean by that is you're either going along in a book, or if you're a video person, you're following a video course. I've got courses for you, YourGuitarSage.com/30. So the top 30 lessons that I teach all my students, I have that for free. Description of this video, whether it's me or somebody else, doesn't matter. As long as you've got some sort of plan and you're moving along with an instructor that you like. Or one-on-one lessons are good too. They're just a little bit more expensive, or a lot more expensive. I know that because I've taught one-on-one for decades. So online courses are great for that. So you want some sort of plan. It doesn't even have to involve a guitar teacher, but just some sort of something where you're constantly pushing yourself. So if you can't play bar chords today, you set that in your sights as something you want to do, because there's a lot of songs that call for bar chords. But whatever it is that you're doing, you got to have some sort of plan or some sort of progression. So maybe you don't have a plan today, but if you're going to pick up the guitar and you do the same thing every day, your plan can at least be, don't play the same thing you were doing yesterday. What can I play new today? Maybe it's a new chord, a new scale, a new idea that you got from YouTube, a new song, something. But always be doing something new. That's when you're going to see your best growth. All right, my friends, I'm Eric Andreas, your Guitar Sage. I want to help you play guitar. Please let me know how I can do that. Leave your comments below. Like and subscribe if you'd like to do that. I'm also on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all those places, and we do a lot of great stuff there. YourGuitarSage.com/live is where you can find out about all the live events. I typically do 4 or 5 a month, and we give away thousands of dollars worth of goodies, including courses, guitars, amps, the whole 9 yards. We have a lot of fun doing it. We blow it out of the water. So join us for one of those sometime, if you would. If you'd like more information on sites that you could visit, that you could get good at, try YourGuitarSage.com/30. Otherwise, I have over 1,000 videos here on YouTube. But if you want a step-by-step method to where you know where you're at and where you want to go, do that, my friends. That's the best way to do it. YourGuitarSage.com/30. Link for that's in the description of this video. My friends, as always, be kind to all beings. Do the right thing, always. And practice your guitar. I'll see you in the next video.